Hello. Nice to hear you again. How are you today?
I'm fine. What about you?
To be honest, I'm a little bit tired. Every Wednesday is like this. I'm a little bit tired because I start to work at, I will tell your time, that will be 10 a.m. your time. So I start to work at 10 a.m. and I'm working until now. And after this class, I have another class. so
Okay.
so I feel a little bit tired, but when I have classes with you, I'm really happy because I can relax a little bit. To be honest, I
Yeah.
can relax and enjoy having a class with you. And how was your day so far? Okay, so what did you do today?
I think that I just went to school today and nothing bad happens.
hmm Okay, and what did you do in your school?
I think that I just studying and I now still doing a preparation to the midterm test.
Okay, preparation for to enter the test. Okay, very nice. Now we will start. Okay, just one moment, please. Okay, so we have here uh, listening, speaking, and vocabulary. Okay, first of all, I will share my screen to just you to see it. What we are going to talk about. Now we have here uh, things that we cannot live without it. Okay, so what are some things that you cannot live without it? Are there some things that you cannot live without it? Can you please tell me?
I think that I can't live without my phones
Okay, and why? Why do you think so? Why?
because I think that's one of the most important stuff that a person can equip it to the life because that can help me do many things.
Okay, and can you please tell me what do you think about people who used to live a long time ago? Okay, without you mentioned phone. Okay, so what do you think about people who didn't live who live without phone? What do you think about this?
I think that people live without phones is yeah. I think that when we back to the ancient where people don't have phones,
hmm
I think
But
that I don't know what this phone is called. Maybe
mhm.
that we use these to communicate from far distances. Uh, phone. I don't know what I don't know what type of phone is this. Maybe that you will know.
Okay, but what do you think about cell phone? How people? Okay, I will tell you about myself. How we used to live without phone, without mobile phone, without iPad, without iPhone. So, what do you think? How was that? How was people live without phone? What do you think about this? I will tell my story. I will tell you what
Yeah.
happens to me. So, what do you think about this?
I
Living
think
without.
that back to the past about the 1900s.
Mhm.
When people like don't have the YouTube or Facebook
Mm.
or any messenger or TikTok or any social media platform that people can entertain at.
Mhm.
So I think that I don't know how people that entertain in that period of time. And the phone that I talk about is this phone. Maybe that you will know that what this phone is. Maybe that you know what this phone is.
Yes, of course, of course. I use it.
Yeah,
I use it so far. I use it.
yeah,
Okay, I used to use this let's say this type of the phone. I used to use this type of the phone a long time ago. So I pretty much I used to that was the problem. For example, when you need to digit these numbers, when you go to okay, and if you
yeah,
wrong one number, you need to start all over again. So
yeah.
I'm
Wait, so
familiar.
how do you use this phone? I heard this phone a lot of times, but I don't know how to use it.
Okay, so like this.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
think you
you
have to
can,
rotate it.
yeah,
You have to
uh,
rotate around to
exactly,
correct. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so because I'm familiar with this one because my family has this phone, and when you talk, for
yeah,
example, when not when you call, it was quite different. Okay, so when you used to call, for example, someone from this phone to another phone that is similar like this, it was okay. But when you used to call, for example, on the mobile phone, because mobile phones 30 years ago, they are in this period of time, they were rare. So it was quite expensive. When you need to make a call, it was so expensive. So it is quite different. Okay, so but this mobile phone, for example, when we used to have only two purposes of this phone used to have: to text message or to call someone. Nothing else. You didn't have internet. You didn't have anything. Just to call and text messages. Nothing else. So it was a big problem, for example, but it was much easier back then than now. For example, when I was a boy, like your age or a little bit older, we used to know where are we. For example, okay, my friends, if they cannot reach me at my home, because I didn't have a mobile phone until I was 18 years old. So my friend used to, if they call me and they know where, if my parents, they don't know where I am. Okay, so my friends used to know that, for example, I'm on a basketball court or I am, okay, and they find you without any problems. So it was really convenient. Now it's okay.
Yeah, I think that now it sucks.
I don't know. It's much easier to find. You text someone and someone will respond. Where are you? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think
it's much.
that this phone is used to be very popular, but now that AI is now like changing, completely changing the world, and people don't use these. I think now is being forgotten because
Just
a lot of
sorry,
things.
just one moment, just one moment. Sorry. I will come back. Just 1 second, please.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I'm back. So it was quite complicated. Okay, so everything was really everything was so complicated back then, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. This is just what I'm thinking about this, because I don't know why, but for example, back then when I need to meet with my friends, they know where I am. But now it's a little bit difficult. We are a little bit spoiled about this because we, for example, oh, I'm here. No, I don't know where I am going to be, etc. But when I was a child, when I was your age or a little bit older, my friends used to know where I am, and I know where are they. So it's much easier. And what do you think about internet? Is internet useful? What do you think?
I think that internet is very useful, and I think that there were a lot of information, and there are about 74 information, and 1 zettabyte is 1 trillion kilobytes. Yeah, so a total of 74 trillion kilobytes of information in the internet. Yeah, and if we print that into a A4 pages, that the size is 297 millimeters times 210 millimeters. Then we will have a stack of paper that is 7 meters tall. Yeah, 1 kilobyte, just one. I'm not talking about 1 trillion. Yeah. So I think that if we multiply that by 7, the total would be 228 trillion meters of paper stacking on top of each other. And this is I think this is longer and a amount of space around the space that we can see, scientists can see. So as you can see, that internet is very useful. It holds tons of items. Yeah, it's a ton of good and useful information that you can search for.
Yes, I agree with you. Now it's much easier when you need to find out information. For example, when I used to be your age, okay, so now news travel very fast. Okay, so I tell you, for example, what is happening in my country, and we use Skype to just to speak what is happening in my country right now. Currently, I can tell you what is happening right now. You also can tell me what is happening in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So it's quite simple. Okay, news travel very fast. Okay, but back then, for example, news didn't travel so fast. Okay, so yes, and it was quite, for example, when something happened. Okay, you watch on TV or something like this, but you didn't know about other informations. Okay, you just didn't know about this, and it was quite hard when you need, for example, to say or to share information with someone. It was really hard to explore this option. But okay, and for what people usually use internet in your country, or children in your country? For what purpose do people use internet in your country?
Internet.
Yes, of course, internet. So for what purpose do they use?
The main purpose was probably the information, but it's also for entertainment too. That you can read comics in the internet. If you don't want to buy, you can watch movies in the internet. If you don't want to go to the cinema, and you can constantly that updates the weather without going out. So it's very convenient.
Okay. Yes, of course, it was convenient. And what else? What else can be convenient? For example, for you, what other things? Okay, so people now using that they didn't use before. Do you have some information? What do they use now that they didn't use before?
I think that the thing that people use now, but they didn't use before then. I think that probably there are many of them, but
Can you think? Can you think what is something that people used to use back then, and what do they use, for example, now? Okay, so what is something that okay change? What's change? Okay, in your opinion, what is something that's changed? Can you guess?
I think that is probably the how people that avoid the hot in the summer. This is a completely changed way of choosing that is fan and air conditioners. But I know that there is a way that people back then, around 2000 BC, that they use, probably in China, to keep them cool in summer. That is a tunnel underground. That is, they keep ice in them. They keep ice, and in the winter when there's a lot of ice, that people like freeze the water in the river and bring them into the tunnel. So in the summer, these ice will be cut down into small pieces and used as a way to avoid hot. But the price to run this is actually that's very expensive. So only kings and people that are rich, the rich can use it. The average and the poor that can't use it, that they have to find another way. I think that's one of the most popular methods.
That used to be.
You don't need to do anything.
Okay.
You don't need to do anything. That is, I think that the way that it is actually. Wait. Okay. I think that sweat just let the the spreading out of your body. Because that's when the sweat is going out, which means you are hot, and your body is trying to like to cool you. That is why I think that when you're like hot, that is your forehead will like split out sweat to fight against the hottest. So people just use that. They just let the sweat came out and they don't say anything. Because when you said or you are like pronounce something, that you actually using some energy in your body, and that makes you feel hotter. So that's why that you will feel tired after like a presentation, or like after a presentation that you are tired, or after you like being an MC for a television show or program that you feel tired because that you are speaking a lot and it uses energy and you don't drink water, so it makes you feel hot, and then your I think your body will try to avoid it by sweating out the sweat in the forehead. So people in an average and pool just use them as a tool to help to fight against the hot. And they also use a fan, but that is a manual work fan. Just like I think that even a book or a notebook can be used at that. They just use the hands to like throwing it in order to produce I think that produce wind. So that's the two ways that only the average and the poor do. Because I think that's way back then that I think that the massive difference between the poverty and the richness is probably high. Yeah. So while the rich is just stay in ice or it is sleep in ice because it's so cold. Because it's so hot, you have to use that. But the average people in the poor only have two options, and they actually that's not very comfortable. But with the less amount of money, that they don't have anything else.
Okay, and yes, because back then you didn't have a middle class. Middle class are someone who's not poor and someone who's not rich. Okay, so that is a middle class. Okay, someone who can live ordinary life. Ordinary life means, for example, when someone is somewhere in between of this, and this is something that is ordinary. Something that, for example, poor people, especially in my country, they cannot go. For example, they are a lot of poor. They have a lot of okay, so they don't have enough or a lot of money. They just survive. Okay, and you have, for example, 60 or 70% of these people, okay, who are poor. They cannot go, for example, on summer vacation. They cannot go on a winter vacation. They are working practically every day, and they cannot save money.
Yeah.
That is the difference. And rich people, okay, we know what are rich people. Okay, probably you have here in your country, you have someone who is really rich, who has a lot of money. Okay, so that is the main difference. Okay, between those two. Okay, and what is, for example, I want to ask you. Okay, now we have here middle class. I suppose, I'm not saying, I just suppose that middle class are like your family, my family. We are some middle class. Okay, middle class means that we are not worried about.
Yeah, I know exactly what the word classes mean. Like is economic class and business class, right? In the plane. I think that is the same.
Something.
I think that the word class is the same.
Something like this. Something like this. Okay, so I suppose we have money. We have money, for example, for our families that we can give. We can eat. We can eat food that has good quality, that is not so bad. Okay, that we can travel twice a year, for example, when to go on our holidays. That is a middle class. This is the meaning of the middle class. Okay, we are not traveling every month. We are not traveling every, but two times, let's say 2 times a week, 2 times a year, we can travel.
Yeah.
And this is something that is, in my opinion, this is something that is good. Okay, and I want to ask you, can you please tell me something about you? How often, for example, what is the difference? Sorry, but first I have two questions. But first question, what is the difference here? For example, in my country, 60 or 70% of people are poor. They don't have enough money for basic needs. Okay, so what is, for example, with you in your country? Okay, when you compare, for example, someone who is who has this amount of money, can you please tell me? So what do you think about this? Okay, what is the difference?
Wait, I think that the poverty of Vietnam. Okay, so wait. Okay, so I will send you like I think that this is quite a line, a chart about the amount of people per population in Vietnam, the poverty. So you can see this. That's way back in 1981. That is, the amount is so high, but then it's decreased. But then there is a chance that it's growing up, and then now 2019 that the I think the poverty is less than 1%. You can see. Yeah, share of population in extreme poverty from 1981 to 2019.
Okay, so decreased, the poverty decreased actually. Okay, yes. Okay. In my country is opposite. Believe it or not, it's opposite. Practically is opposite. For example, a lot of people in 1981 was like people in your country in 2019. So it's quite opposite, basically, because we have here people who are poor, and more people who are poor than people who are rich. So it's a quite a big, let's say, big difference between between those two. Okay, now let's see. And I want to ask you, how often, you're middle class like myself, okay, so how often do you usually, for example, go for I want to ask you for on summer vacation, on winter vacation, how often?
I think that I go to every year that I have a trip about 2 times, or luckily that is 3. Yeah.
Okay. And where do you usually go, and where would you like to go in next destinations? Would you like, for example, I know about Australia, you mentioned about Australia.
Yeah.
And how about, can you please tell me, how about some other destinations? So where would you like to go?
I think that I would like to go to the Ho Chi Minh City.
Okay. And why there?
Because that I want to visit, like as I said earlier, that's called a tunnel that a Vietnamese dug to fight against America in about 1970. And I said earlier that the tunnel is dig entirely by hand, no tools. And and tell you like a fact that it's 250 kilometers long, and it acts like an underground base, massive base. Yeah, I think that is called it a mega base. That is full of functional. It's very multifunctional. It has the basics, the bathroom, the kitchen, and also the meeting room to meet and talk about the ways, opinion, how to fight the America. And when Americans go into here, they don't fit because they are too wide for a small hole. Because when way back then that the Vietnamese are actually pretty small, we can't compare that. So when they can't go in, so they just duck and they sending a bomb there. But Vietnamese don't have to worry. They just have to block it out and completely forgot that. So when they explode, they don't. I think that they don't find anything. So they think that this is just a fake hole, and they lie. But they actually fell fast because, as I said, that's down there is, I think that's like a maze. I think it's very complicated maze that the American don't solve. And once they go through that, they can't never get out, except one option that is dig all the way up. So I think that I would like to visit this place to know about the Vietnamese history even more.
Okay, so this is something that okay, I think that I understand. And when you compare, for example, is there anything? Okay, I just want to ask you. I'm really curious. If you have a power to change something in your country, imagine that you have a power, money, and different types of the power. Okay, so what is something that, for example, you would like to change in your country? So what would you like to change in your country?
I think that I would like to change about the poverty. That is, I think that I will reduce the taxes. From reduced taxes, I think that for the good things like crockery or something that is for education, like books, notebook, pen, pencils, erasers, rulers, and some other things.
Okay.
Then I will more taxes, and then I raise taxes for things that's not need, like diamond or gold or supercars, or beer and wine. I think that I will go taxes for about 500%, so we avoid as much as possible.
Okay, and why would you do, for example, something like this? Why?
I think that I do that so people will business some more useful things. So it's I think that less chance for people to drink beer or wine, and it's actually a very bad thing, because all of these things that includes nicotine in them, chemicals that when you apply to your body, that trick your brain as a bad way to thinking that we have to try this again because it tastes so good. Okay. So it will become you will I think you will be addicted to that. It's very bad. So I will try to reduce it to raise the Vietnam's GDP. So that actually is good.
Okay, very nice. Okay, I think okay. And how would you, for example, if you have a power to solve the problems around the world? Okay, so what is something that you would do to change the world? What can you do?
I think that will change in the world. Let me think. I said that I don't know how to because I don't watch news around the world. So yeah, I don't know anything. That I was I'm too lazy to search your information around the world, and I don't watch news much. No, I said actually that I never watch news. Because that is actually that's very boring. And there's two opinions that people that they don't watch news, because I think that I will ask you a question that what's the last time that you watch news and you take an information that is useful in your life? Probably not.
Last time. Just one moment. You asked me the question. When was the last?
I will just ask. I will just talk about the questions, like some people did. So there's a question like that, and most people just said that the information like I think they're selling the land or like catching the thieves somehow like that. But no, when you just take the news that you will call it a drama, and you just talk to the friends and neighbor, that is good. And then yeah, and even though that, let me give in circumstances that you actually find an information that is good, but then your friends will just give to you. You don't need to waste time watching news or to find that. So what's your opinion about this? That is what news is a not very good thing. It's very pointless because you can't find any information that is good. And when you just find something that your friends will give to you before you can find it, so it's very pointless. I think I want to opinion about watching news.
Kang, just one moment. I can hear a little noise. Okay, you're doing something with your hands or microphone, and I cannot hear everything. I want to hear everything. Okay. Okay. Can you repeat the last sentence because I didn't hear clearly.
Yeah. So as I said, that is the news. Some people might think that watching news is very pointless because they think that the news that don't contain any good information, and you can just search it in the internet for quick because you have to wait in order. So the information is very important, at least for the presenter is going on the top, and the last is for the bottom. So if I give you an example, if you want to know that what is today's weather in Hanoi or in Ho Chi Minh City or in Da Nang, you can just search in the internet for more. We don't waste the time of waiting 40 minutes.
Kang, again, it's a little noise. You're doing something with your arms, with your hands, and you're creating the noise. Okay.
Okay, so I think that I will wait. I think that I will like close the window because I think that there's a construction site outside.
No, I think that the noise is from your side. Okay, not from the window. I think that that you are doing something with your hands and you are making a little bit noise.
Okay, so now I will try. Okay, so yeah, I just said that when you want to search the weather in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City and Da Nang, for example, like that, you can just search it in the internet. But that we don't need to waste time watching news because the news in Vietnam is, I think that is like with the sorting the news that they don't contain in the good information first. For example, the weather. Because the weather in the news is the last, and you have to wait 40 useless minutes just to see the weather. Why do we search on the internet for quick access? And the same happens to all other information because of the internet. So people don't watch news much. So when they want to new information, they can just search it in the internet, and it's like produce tons of information that you can search for. That's way faster. What the opinion about watching news? I'm sharing with your opinion about in conclusion. There are two reasons that people don't like watching news, and me too. First, it's because it's very pointless. There's not many information that is good. And second is that you have to wait until your search information will be shown up, and you can search the internet for more. So what's your opinion?
Today, in my opinion, today it's important when you. Okay, I understand what you want to say, but in my opinion, it's important to know about certain informations. I will give you one example. Okay, so one famous actor from the Hollywood mentioned something like this. I will try to quote. I will not say the same words, but I will try to quote. Information. Now it's really important. What is happening? You don't have any benefits of this information, but it's important to know this information. And now sometimes you have lies on the internet, lies on the news, lies, of course. But what is important in the history? It was when there was a history. It was really important that you know that you need to know, for example, is certain information true or not true. Okay, now it doesn't matter if it is true. Now it is important, for example, for people to know about certain topic, about certain information, to know some details. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's correct or not. It's important that you know information. And this is how, for example, newspaper, internet, they can know a lot of things about us because, like I mentioned to you, people are sharing information. Okay, so sometimes information can be really useful or news. It can be really useful about certain things in our lives. Okay, let's say about the weather. Okay, so tomorrow you're planning to go to the camping trip.
Yeah.
Okay, of course you will go if the weather is sunny, if the weather is okay. You will go on this camping trip, but you will not go, for example, if the weather is bad. Is that right?
Yeah.
So
right.
this is information that you need to know.
Yeah.
Of course, but there is some information that you don't need to know. Like for example, we don't care who will be the next, let's say, American or USA president. You and me, we don't have any benefits of this.
Yeah.
This is strictly for their country, for their homes, their lives. I don't want to you to be offended, but in my country, okay, who is your president, vice president, premier of your country, or king of your country? It doesn't matter for us. This is something that is related to you. The same thing, who is my president?
Yeah.
You
so
don't care
I think
about
that
this
thing is called like an argument essay. That you, I think that giving your opinion about things. So I think that do you agree with me or do you disagree with me?
90% I agree with you. About this topic, 90% I agree with you. Okay, I cannot agree with everything.
So you agree that news is useless about 90%?
About 90% useless, completely useless. You don't. You
what
don't
about
need
10% left?
10%, like I mentioned, about the weather, about certain things that we need for us. Okay, so you need to know about the weather. If you are, for example, farmer, you need to know about the weather, what will happen tomorrow. Okay, if you have, for example, if you have farm with animals, okay, so if it's a big storm, if it's typhoon or something like, you need to protect your animals. So you need to know this information. Is that right? Okay, this is just my opinion. I'm just give you one segment of information that we can hear. This is just one type. Okay, so for example, there are other types of information. I just mentioned about the weather. You have also some information that are useful for us that you can use, but most of the information that we know, that we read, for example, on the news, are completely useless for us.
Yeah.
But this 10%. Okay, it's related to weather. It's related to some, for example, for school. Okay, so you for example, okay, tomorrow in your school you will not go to school because I am just guessing. Because for example, people need to finish. For example, their construction workers are there. You cannot go to school. This is information that you need. Or, for example, tomorrow you will not have water in your school. You will not go to school. This is just one of the examples. I have information about, for example, read on the internet that my area, my area, my block, I will not have electricity or internet. So what I need to do, I need to cancel the classes. Those are informations that are useful for us. I'm just giving you certain information, but globally speaking, you're right. I don't care what is happening. For example, not that I don't care, but I cannot do anything to, for example, if you have a typhoon or something, I cannot help you. I can give you moral support, but nothing else. Okay.
Okay. So I think that you like mostly agree with me, right?
Mostly yes. Mostly yes. Mostly yes. Certain information. Certain information we need to know.
Okay.
Okay, and I just want to ask you about global information. For example, what do you think? What global information are important in our country?
I think that the information about the environment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, the environment, like global warming. Global warming or like where sea level rises and more carbon dioxide in the air, or the ozone is broken. So the ozone is broken. So that's actually a pretty useful information to know. Since that we can act some small things to help things. And I think that this is the only useful information that can be about the environment in Vietnam and around the world. This is actually helpful and useful too.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So those are information that we can use. Okay. So do you agree with me about this? What I mentioned to you about this certain information that are important for us?
Yes, I 100% agree. Yeah.
Okay, sometimes, okay, but what is beneficial for you? Okay, for example, children who are, or boys, I don't want to say children, children are much younger. Boys, when they are your age, they don't want to hear anybody. They think what they think. But what is something that impressed me about yourself, that you want to hear opinion? Maybe in the beginning you don't agree with someone, but in the end, when you hear, you will think about this and you will, maybe the teacher is right. Okay, so you are open. We call this open-minded. Okay, open-minded. Okay, you have your opinion. This is something that is fantastic, but you think like this. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Let's hear teacher's opinion or someone else's opinion. That is great. This is amazing, because most of your age, someone who is your age, don't think like this. When you become older, you will see, for example, that you will be much experienced in certain areas, and you will, oh, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not. Okay, in certain areas, I'm open-minded for everybody. For you, you are 25 years younger than me, or 27 years younger than, but I want to listen to you. I want to see how you think. And this is another approach. I have another approach to certain things. Okay, and okay, so we used to speak about something that is from the past. Okay, so what would you like to bring back from the past and to have now? Something that we are not using right now, but people used to use in the past. So what do you think?
I think that we shouldn't bring anything, because at the Stone Age, when we bring back iron pickaxe, back to the iron Stone Age, and then the whole history we were broken. Yeah. So when we want to down to the past, we have to see the which age and what tool and the lives and the things that they like use. And we can't bring modern things back to the past. And the same applies to languages. You know that about 1,000 years ago that people don't speak English and Vietnamese as normal. They have another type of language that we probably don't know. So yeah, going to the past is actually not very easy, because you have to be careful to not break the history. Otherwise, the people or like the whole history book will be completely changed. Yeah.
Okay, so
Just like So I think that the same happens when I think that when you downgrade the downgrade the computer from iOS 17 to iOS 15, for example. And when doing that, that will causing for or deleting all of your files because they don't save it. And you can create backups. So the same happened to the past. We can't bring phone, computers, radios, or the things that they don't use. Or we couldn't make anything. Yeah. And we have to learn the languages. I think that's almost impossible. So yeah, going to the past is going to the past by time machine. I think that's actually pretty hard.
Okay, and what do you think? I just want to ask you, what do you think about sign language? You mentioned the languages. So what do you think about sign language?
Sign language, I think it only affects people. Yeah, so people indeed can use the sign languages.
Okay, and did you ever try to learn sign language? Okay, and
no. I think that I don't like to learn sign language. If you want to talk with your friends during the class.
Okay, again, Khang, I can hear some noise. You're doing something with your hands and making a little bit noise. Okay, I just want to hear you because I have a feeling that you are doing something with your hands and you're making the noise. Okay, now I want to ask you, you mentioned sign language and how, for example, people used to travel back then in the past. How do they communicate back then? What do you think?
That we have to know the languages and then learn it. Just like when we want to travel to France, that we have to learn French. If we want to travel to Spain, we have to learn Spanish. So travel in the past is the same. But I don't know what languages that people use during that. So yeah, I think that when we're going that we're just like hiding in a brush and filming something. Yeah. So we can't communicate with people there unless we know the language and we know what the letter is represents for, so that we can learn it and communicate with it or communicate with them.
Okay, so this is something, of course, that that can be really, let's say, really hard to do it. Okay, and okay, so those are languages that we are, for example, using right now, and okay, this is interesting. Okay, that you mentioned, but we have here another topic that I want to ask you. What do you think about radios? Radio, listening to the radio. Is listening to the radio popular in your country?
I think that actually popular for elderly, since they don't know how to use computers or the radios. I think that is probably the best thing because they can listen to songs and listen to I think that a pupil is reading about psychology for hours long, and for elderly, that is listening to them is actually like a right to relaxation. So I think that radio is popular, but only for elderly, because about teenagers or teen, they are old-fashioned. They are very old-fashioned. Yeah.
Okay, old-fashioned. And in your can you please tell me in your home, people, do they listen to the radio, or how do they get the news in your home?
News, I think that they also watch news. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think about in the future? How will people, for example, listen and get the news? So what will they do to get the news? Okay, so are they?
We just listen to the news. Because I think that AI is now like completely changed the world, but they can't send news to each other. So we will just use the news as we did before, and I think that my guesses.
Okay, very nice. And your friends, okay, how do they get the news? Okay, so your friends on the internet, or how do they get the news about certain topics?
I don't know.
Okay, so what do you think when you compare, for example, news in your, let's say, in your country? Okay, so comparing to the TV on the internet, what do you think, in your opinion, what is better, in your opinion?
I think that the news is actually better.
Okay, and why do you think so?
I don't know, maybe. I think that is my own opinion, and I can't explain why.
Oh, okay, and how do you think that the news will travel, for example, in the future? Much faster than now, or much slower? What do you think?
I think it will be much faster.
Okay, and why do you think so?
Because now that I think about when we talk about the internet, that when we talk about when it's so slow that we have to look for the future. That is, I think that Indonesia is now like inventing I think that inventing the internet, that the speed is about 1,000 times faster than normal internet we use. So I think that no laggy and no delay, and all of that things will be on the path if Indonesia develops successfully this kind of internet, and around the world that people just use it, so they will have much faster, like they will have much faster internet entertainment and playing games, no delay, since the internet is so fast that it's almost, when you click on a video in the YouTube, it's pop out instantly. So that's actually that I'm hope that they develop that successfully.
Okay, so this is something that can be improved. Okay, and how people can improve, for example, their social skills? Because when I let's say when I speak about certain topics, okay, now when I compare, for example, things that are happening now and in the past, okay, so I can say, for example, that it's completely different. So social skills were much better in, let's say, in the past comparing to now. So what is something that people can do now in the future to improve their skills? So what they can do to improve their skills?
I don't know. Maybe that I don't have any prediction. Maybe that we have to guess and hope.
Okay, okay, and why do you, for example, why do you think so? Why?
Because that now people are still remaining the same that ever since before. So we have to wait.
Okay, and what is something that you can improve about yourself in the future? What would you like to improve about yourself in the future as a person, as a Khang? Okay, would you like to improve something that you think that you can do much better? So what is something that you can improve about yourself?
Improve about myself. I don't have any ideas. Maybe that I think that I will like. I don't know. Yeah.
For example, what is something that you think right now is not so good and you can improve in the future?
I think I'm not very good at art, so I'll try to join an art class if my parents is agreed.
Okay, if they are agreed. Okay, so yes, this is okay, very nice. Now, that was really nice. And okay, and people in your country, what do you think, globally speaking, what they can improve in your country? What is something that people can improve in your country?
My country, I think that I don't know. Maybe that is just good and nothing need to change.
Okay, very nice. That was really nice. Okay, and okay, I asked you so many questions. Now, can you please tell me, do you have any questions for me? Do you have any questions?
I think that I don't have any questions.
Okay, so we used to speak a lot about certain topics that are related to the news how you travel and other similar topics. Okay,
Yeah.
did you enjoy today? Did you like our class today?
I think that I could really like.
Okay, very nice. Okay, I also enjoy every time when I have classes with you. Okay, that was quite nice and quite good. Okay, so we can stop here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wish you. I know it's late in your country, and I wish you a good night. See you
Yeah.
on Friday. See you on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.